As we embark on a journey through the labyrinth of our minds, we confront a paradox that sits at the very foundation of human existence, the intricate dance between control and surrender. This paradox, a riddle shrouded in layers of ego and desire, beckons us to explore not merely the realm of power, but the poignancy of letting go. What if the freedom we seek lies not in tightening our grip on life's reins, but in the gentle act of release? From the moment we draw our first breath, society encases us in a fortress of expectations and obligations. We learn quickly that control brings safety, while chaos feels like a distant shadow just waiting for an opportunity to overpower us. But what if we've been misled? What if the relentless push for control has inflicted more wounds than it has healed? Consider the stories of individuals like Alice, a devoted mother and a successful executive who wore her busy life as a badge of honor. Balancing deadlines and family commitments, she epitomized the struggle of modern existence, yet beneath her composed exterior lay an insatiable need to manage every facet of her life. In her quest for control, she became unmoored, drowning in her expectations and their consequent pressures. But then came a moment of divergence. A family gathering intended as a celebration dissolved into chaos as her daughter threw a tantrum, food went flying, and laughter became misplaced. What ensued was an awakening as Alice found herself standing at the eye of the storm. Instead of succumbing to frustration, she let go. In that fleeting second, she witnessed something extraordinary. The laughter of friends replacing irritation, and the joy of connection surging where control once ruled. This is where we must pause and reflect. Could it be that real power, the kind that nourishes the soul and binds relationships, is born in those instances of vulnerability? In a world that often equates control with strength, letting go can appear as a surrender. But perhaps it is not weakness. Perhaps it is the very essence of courage yielding to the flow of existence rather than resisting it. Rhetorically speaking, can we consider how rivers carve valleys not with brute force, but through persistent gentleness? Nature has a unique way of revealing life's inherent truths. When we examine the fluidity of a river, we uncover their wisdom. To adapt is to thrive. The more tightly we hold on to our plans and expectations, the more we sabotage our potential for growth. Imagine descending into a forest filled with ancient trees, their limbs swaying in the wind, releasing leaves to the earth beneath. This act of surrender is not an end but a precursor to renewal. The fallen leaves nourish the soil, fostering new life. Each leaf released becomes part of a cycle that feeds future generations. Can we draw a parallel here? What might we unearth if we allow ourselves to release the burdens we carry, to loosen our grip on rigid expectations? As we delve deeper into this exploration, we recognize that control is often rooted in fear of failure, fear of loss, and beneath it all, the existential dread that engulfs us in our most isolated moments. Letting go, however, is an embrace of uncertainty. We stand at a precipice, breathing in the chaotic beauty of life as it unfolds before us, our worries transforming into stepping stones for new beginnings if we dare to take the leap. Throughout history, countless leaders, artists, and thinkers have discovered the profound truth that surrender unlocks the gateways of creativity and innovation. Take the story of renowned composer Ludwig van Beethoven, whose late works were created amidst profound deafness. In that seemingly hopeless space, he relinquished control over his circumstances, allowing the music of his soul to flow uninhibited. The power of creation surged forth from a place of acceptance of what was possible instead of what was lost. His afflictions gave rise to masterpieces that continue to resonate today. We are invited then to ponder, what dictates the boundaries of our potential? What if the very act of loosening our grip allows us the space to breathe, to innovate, to love more deeply than we ever thought possible? As we reach the end of this segment, we carry with us the essence of a question that challenges our fears. Can we adopt the courage to dance with the flow of uncertainty, trusting that the current will guide us forward? The liberation of the present moment. As the narrative thickens and layers of understanding start to unfold, we arrive at the heart of our exploration. The inherent liberation found within the present moment. We often tether ourselves to the past, haunted by memories or ravaged by regrets, and tether ourselves to a future laced with apprehensions and dreams that seem just out of reach. Yet, the present moment glimmers like a beacon, a reminder that true power resides in the now. Consider the ancient wisdom of mindfulness, a practice as timeless as the mountains themselves. By focusing on the present, we become architects rather than prisoners of our reality. The story unfolds further when we meet someone like Tom, a successful entrepreneur whose life was a chessboard of ambitions. All his energy was invested in future victories, the next project, the next dollar sign, pushing ever forward, leaving little room for the beauty surrounding him. Yet, when an unforeseen personal crisis struck, he was forced to slow down. Amidst the chaos, something remarkable arose. In that moment of stillness, he discovered the power of his breath. The rhythm of inhalation and exhalation became a grounding measure, centering him as the world around him spiraled. Surrounded by nature on a peaceful afternoon, he found solace in watching a single leaf unfurl on an oak tree, grasping that this simple act was a symbol of life, present, unfolding, untainted by notions of control. In that space, he learned that true freedom comes when we embrace the present. Imagine a musician, each note played requires presence, a commitment to the sound flowing from their instrument at that exact moment. When they attempt to anticipate where the song will lead or fixate on the audience's reception, the authenticity of the music eludes them. But when they let go, lost in the melody, magic emerges, resonating with listeners in a way that projections never could. The question we must ask ourselves is this: what are we missing in our haste to control our lives? As we envision ourselves within our individual narratives, we must confront the notion that events are rarely linear. They twist and turn like the paths of a river and often lead us to destinations we could never have imagined. The current invites us to open our arms wide, allowing the unexpected to wash over us. Embracing the present liberates our consciousness from the shackles of anticipation, providing us the precious opportunity to be fully engaged in our experiences. Let us draw upon the quiet lessons nature imparts. The cyclical seasons teach us that surrendering to change is not the end, it is a harbinger of rebirth. In the winter, life slows, the trees stand bare, and the ground rests. It is a time of reflection, yet from this dormancy springs forth an exuberant spring, a return, more vibrant and robust than before. What if we allowed ourselves to rest when life urged us to move? What if we took that moment of stillness to reflect, to be present, and unchecked by fear? Many philosophies, spiritual teachings, and psychological approaches emphasize the profound effect of being fully present. When we are conscious of every heartbeat, every fleeting gaze, and every shared laughter, we unlock the true potential of our interactions. This awareness can forge connections we once deemed unattainable. Let us briefly step into the shoes of Mahatma Gandhi, a man who understood the cadence of the present. His utter commitment to nonviolence and truth emerged from a place of awareness, a resignation to the journey rather than a fixation on control. In moments of despair, he illustrated that surrendering our ego empowers collective movements for change. His legacy emerged not from rigid control of singular actions, but from an open-hearted embrace of life's unfolding current. As we continue our expedition, we delve deeper into this revelation. The act of letting go becomes transformative, allowing us to navigate through life's challenges with grace and resilience. Is it possible that although we may not shape every moment, our presence within each moment can create ripples of influence far beyond what we can imagine? And herein lies the crux of our exploration, a call to action. Next, we venture beyond the confines of control and into the emotional landscape of letting go, seeking to understand how this act isn't only liberating but also essential for fostering deep, meaningful connections with ourselves and with others. The emotional liberation of letting go. As we traverse this inner landscape, we approach an emotional chasm, a rich territory layered with vulnerability, connection, and intimacy. In exploring the emotional liberation that comes from the surrendering of control, we unearth a profound realization. We cannot truly connect with others if we remain ensnared in the tight grasp of our fears and expectations. Let us visualize the intricate web of relationships that populate our lives, friends, family, colleagues, all interwoven with threads of shared experiences and emotional exchanges. Yet, how often do we find ourselves hesitant, holding back our true selves, shackled to the fear of judgment or the presumed need for perfection? Consider the tale of Sarah, a young woman who, throughout her life, had prioritized success to the utmost. Acquiring accolades and climbing her professional ladder, she believed that control over her accomplishments would guide her toward acceptance. Yet beneath her shining exterior lay a heart aching for authenticity. During a dinner party, as she listened to the candid stories of her friends, tales that carried their vulnerabilities and flaws, something inside her shifted. With each laughter shared, she felt drawn into the warmth of connection that only honesty could foster. In that moment, she realized she had been playing a role in her own life, presenting an image that was polished but not genuine. This marked a turning point for Sarah. The following week, she summoned the courage to shed her colorful mask and share her struggles with her circle, The response was overwhelming, offering hands of support and understanding radiant with compassion. The simple act of letting go of her inhibitions not only altered her relationship with herself but allowed her to forge deeper bonds with those around her. Isn't it curious? The chains of perfectionism and self-doubt often manifest not as mere obstacles but as barriers against authentic connections. When we cling too tightly to our carefully constructed images, we deny ourselves the beauty of shared experiences. In letting go of those burdens, we invite others to experience our true selves, revealing the raw, glorious mosaic of life, the imperfections that resonate far more than a flawlessly curated facade. In this dance of connection, we must consider the environments we create. Think of a garden, vibrant and thriving, yet it requires attentive care and, at times, letting certain weeds wither. Maintaining a garden demands mindfulness, patience, and the humility to stray from rigid control over what blooms. Likewise, in our relationships, fostering trust and intimacy necessitates the willingness to be vulnerable, to allow space for growth rather than define rigid boundaries. Moreover, this emotional surrender paves the way for understanding and kindness within ourselves. False narratives shaped by societal standards lead us to believe that our worth is entwined with success or control. Yet, in the realm of acceptance lies a profound liberation. The stories we tell ourselves about our self-worth often hinge on fluctuating perspectives. As we tactfully unearth the layers of self-criticism, we recognize the treasure beneath. It is within this accepting space that we cultivate inner resilience, for there, we embody both fierceness and tenderness. The power within the surrender can also be likened to the act of dancing with the waves that crash upon the shore. As the ocean ebbs and flows, it teaches us that life itself is an unpredictable rhythm. Imagine yourself walking to the water's edge, feeling the sand between your toes, each wave that approaches and recedes carrying with it the tension of past burdens. In acknowledging these emotions, allowing them to rise and fall as part of natural existence, we create an expansive interface for catharsis. Consider the life-affirming pursuit of letting go to be the gentle tide that reshapes the shore, reshaping our identities through acceptance of impermanence. In choosing to step into this realm of vulnerability, we foster a safe harbor for others to do the same. Ironically, the power of community thrives when we dare to share not only our triumphs but our tribulations as well. This reciprocity nurtures a shared strength, a collective resolve that stands firm against life's relentless storms. As our exploration unfolds, we also must confront the question, how do we cultivate the courage to let go amidst fears of rejection or judgment? The truth is, our fears inevitably draw us closer to a critical juncture. What we perceive as limitations are often mere thresholds inviting us to cross into pathways filled with new possibilities. Embedded within our emotional narratives is an invitation to lead a life defined by authenticity. Vulnerability connects us, rendering the isolated threads of our experiences into a shared tapestry that transcends time and circumstance. We are not alone. We are all woven together in this beautiful chaos of existence. In parting, the exploration of our emotional liberation through letting go reminds us that our stories, marked by both struggle and triumph, are a journey worth sharing. May we embrace the openness that comes from surrendering our control and revel in the power of authentic connection. As we navigate our way forward, let us not forget that the courage to embrace vulnerability is a bridge that leads us toward collective healing, a journey that promises rediscoveries of our own power and resilience. Transformative realizations in the art of letting go. As we move deeper into our exploration of the paradox of control, it's essential to reflect on the transformative realizations that manifest through the art of letting go. We've encountered stories of individuals rediscovering the power of presence, authenticity, and connection. Now, we must contemplate how surrender can alchemize our experiences, reshaping our very narratives and renewing our relationship with ourselves and the world around us. Let's begin by accepting a challenging truth. Life rarely unfolds as planned. We may visualize our paths with the precision of an architect's blueprint, but reality often surprises us with unexpected detours and unanticipated lessons. What if instead of resisting these shifts, we learn to embrace them? Imagine standing on a bridge, gazing across the expanse of a river that meanders unpredictably through the landscape. The road ahead may be unclear, yet amidst this uncertainty lies the opportunity for adventure, the promise of discovering the uncharted territories of our potential. In contemplating our own paths, we encounter the story of Jackie, a woman whose life resembled that of many, a demanding job, a steady progression, and a carefully planned future. Yet one day, a sudden job loss destabilized her carefully constructed plans, challenging her sense of identity and self-worth. Initially, she grappled with confusion, crawling into the familiar comfort of control by reapplying for jobs that aligned with her past, a futile exercise in chasing after shadows. It was during a twilight walk along a tranquil lakeside when something shifted within her, something that would redefine her trajectory. Surrounded by the shimmering reflection of stars suspended above, Jackie began to reassess her situation. By letting go of her rigid conception of career success, she felt an urge to explore other passions: painting, writing, and connecting with others in a way she had long neglected. This journey into the unknown transformed into a personal renaissance filled with learning and self-discovery. What if we, too, dared to explore our inner and outer landscapes beyond the confines of expectations? When we relinquish control, we often confront transformative realizations about ourselves, about our intrinsic worth, and about our capacity for resilience. The paradox rests within the ability to reinterpret events not as failures, but as stepping stones that propel us toward new domains of understanding. It invites a poignant reflection. What lessons do we leave unexplored when we clutch tightly to what we believe should be? The canvases of our lives need not be painted in one consistent hue. By embracing a brush of surrender, we liberate ourselves to create a masterpiece rich in texture and depth, a composition layering the light of joy and the shadows of struggle. Each brushstroke becomes an integral part of the tale we tell, a narrative infused with authenticity and deeper understanding. Consider the wisdom echoed in the words of Rainer Maria Rilke, who reminds us that the only journey worth living is the one guided by our hearts. It is essential for us to accept the winding paths, the moments when we drift into silence or struggle against the tides, an invitation to pause, reflect, and emerge anew. Through this lens, we see how the act of letting go empowers us, reshaping our perspectives and igniting dormant passions. Herein lies our ability to embrace the kaleidoscope of life's experiences, celebrating the intertwining of joy and sorrow. Imagine the beautiful symbiosis of nature, a flower blooming at the cusp of beauty while shedding its petals for the next season. So, too, must we recognize that letting go is not an act of forfeiture, it is a powerful embrace of possibility. As we explore our experiences, we often discover an inner compass that knows the way. When we relinquish the need to control, we foster trust in ourselves, empowering us to flow with life's currents. The turbulence may seem daunting at first, but it is within the depths of uncertainty that we find our true strength. Moreover, as we traverse through this transformative journey, we stand to realize that letting go changes not just ourselves, but those around us. Our stories hold the power to inspire and uplift, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond our immediate circles. When we permit ourselves to embrace vulnerability, we grant permission to others to do the same, weaving a fabric of connection imbued with empathy and understanding. As we reach deeper into this reflection, it beckons us to ask, what would it mean to trust in the journey rather than clinging to preconceived expectations? The artist in each of us craves transformation, evolution. By relinquishing our grip on control, we empower ourselves to become co-creators in our stories. Your life, a canvas, each moment an opportunity to express who we truly are without restrictions. And so, as we stand upon the precipice of understanding, we have journeyed far from the initial confines of control into a realization that life's greatest gifts arise from embracing uncertainty. As we move forward, let us surrender to the transformative power encapsulated within the act of letting go, trusting that each experience shapes our essence into something gloriously profound. The journey forward, embracing a life of surrender. As we arrive at the final segment of this exploration, we pause to reflect on the profound lessons we've gleaned from examining the paradox of control and the liberating power of letting go. Together, we have traversed the intricacies of surrender, authenticity, emotional connection, and transformative realizations, all calling us to reshape our relationship with life. But what does it mean to embrace a life of surrender as we move forward into the realm of possibilities? Firstly, it entails cultivating an awareness of our relationship with control. Let us visualize control as a tightly coiled spring held so tightly that the slightest movement becomes a source of strain. In contrast, surrender functions like the gentle embrace of a breeze that unfurls the coil, allowing for flexibility and movement. By choosing to embrace the potentialities of surrender, we discover new pathways of experience unencumbered by the weights of expectation. Let us consider the myriad moments awaiting us, a tapestry woven from a myriad of experiences yet to be lived. Imagine walking into a space filled with infinite possibilities, where each door is an invitation to explore rather than a rigid expectation to meet. By setting aside our instinct to control, we step into an experience full of wonder, a vibrant world throb with the pulse of life, eager to reveal itself. With each choice, we are confronted with the opportunity to redefine success, no longer defined by external milestones, but rather by our internal compass and shared moments with others. Maya Angelou reminds us that we may forget what people say, we may forget what people do, but we will never forget how they made us feel. To nurture this emotional truth, we must allow ourselves instinctively to share and connect with others without fear or reservation. Think back to Alice, Tom, Sarah, Jackie, each having discovered a deeper essence after surrendering their pursuit of control. They embraced vulnerability, authenticity, and the unpredictable nature of human experience, learning to dance with the rhythm of existence. If we too were to weave this thread into the fabric of our lives, would we truly reshape the stories we tell ourselves and the world around us? Additionally, it is vital that we integrate practices that keep us anchored. Drawing from mindfulness, gratitude, and deep reflection allows us to embrace the messiness of life without fear. By creating space for stillness, we invite clarity and peace into our lives, allowing the tides of existence to wash over us without resistance. Let us take the time to pause, breathe, and connect with the universe unfolding within and around us. What if, day by day, we made a conscious effort to approach each encounter with openness, to free ourselves from preconceived attachments, to greet life with curiosity rather than fear? Imagining this approach can liberate our experiences, prompting us to discover fresh connections, hidden talents, and untapped joys. Finally, as we venture into our unfolding narrative, let us understand that surrendering control does not mean relinquishing responsibility. Instead, it offers the possibility of a more profound trust in ourselves and our journey. Our choices still matter. They weave into the greater story of our lives. But we can now approach our decisions with the freedom to transcend limitations, forging paths illuminated by the vibrant light of curiosity. In closing, the paradox of control invites us to reconsider the constructs that define our lives. It challenges us to embark on a shared journey of discovery, a collective path where vulnerability breeds connection, authenticity unlocks hidden potential, and surrender gives birth to profound transformations. As we navigate the waters of our lives, let us carry with us these revelations, emerging empowered by the art of letting go. With each breath, we stand at the intersection of possibility, transfigured by the courage to embrace uncertainty, to treasure the present moment, and to revel in the emotional richness of our interconnected lives. In service of love, creativity, and human connection, may we embrace the paradox of control, surrendering to life's unfolding with grace. As each chapter of our journey unfolds, may we continue to explore the depths of our being and the wonders of existence, cultivating resilience, compassion, and strength. Thank you for joining this voyage of self-discovery and collective healing, a journey that invites us all to embrace the power in letting go.